everyone, Nigel Bigsby here. So good to be back. This is our third and final entry in our interview series with Alfabusa and Speaker D, the creator and lead writer, respectively, of the internet series If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device. In this episode, we'll speak with our guests about diversity in Warhammer and the Warhammer Plus streaming service. I hope you enjoy it. With that, take it away, boys.
If I could say one last round on this, and I'll put this to bed, for me at least. Dungeons & Dragons has had a huge revitalization based on a lot of like younger, you have LGBT people, you have fucking like a larger player base now of like, like women, like a larger, more inclusive player base, which 40K has been making dividends and etc. But when you look at what they're doing, they have like, tieflings, these weird multi, they have like this weird like kind of demon backstory or whatever, and you have like all these elves and all these different like wild crazy races that you can really sort of immerse yourself in. And a lot of what people I think gravitate towards, at least in my experiences with hobby, they tend not to really go whole ham into the escapism fantasy of being like an intolerant totalitarian fascist. They tend to look for other like means of exploration. Doesn't mean necessarily good ones, and that doesn't mean that you should make the Imperium less terrible. To be corrupt. Exactly. And like people, I guarantee you, if it was there, people would fucking fall in love with things like the Eldar or the Orcs or the Necrons or the Tau, or even like newer races that aren't necessarily Imperium focused. Like, I think what would be fucking awesome to see, like, what do the Men of Iron look like in the 41st millennia? What's going on with them? Can we get like some weird like cyberpunk Shodan kind of like new look, new spin to 40K? I don't know. And like, but I feel like that's a sort of player base that 40K is almost largely avoided. And I really think that like expanding on Xenos and tapping into that market and going forward with that, I think that would really like that's a market that has proven itself, and I think it's one that'd be really receptive to the sort of self-expression that 40K allows, even in this terrible, horrible, bloody, grimdark dystopia. They just need to, I think, push it in that way and try to get that demographic in ways other than I think just making like Sisters of Battle is a good step forward, but I think if they went whole ham on Xenos, you would have a lot more people more intrigued by that.
It's interesting. We did touch on diversity in D&D and role playing in an earlier episode, and I think there certainly is a less diverse range of self-expression that you can get out of 40K. Like, I know I've had my partner on a few times, and I would love her to get into 40K, but she's just like, I don't like the art style. Like, it's really butch, it's really heteronormative. It's only male Space Marines. And you're absolutely right. Like, if you love that, you love it. But if you don't, it's kind of hard to find something that feels like a self-expression for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's an easy, fix. Just do with Speaker D, make more interesting aliens. It's a good particular fix for it, I reckon. Why not? Add some Skaven.
And again,
Skaven.
40K
Skaven.
Squats.
Squat empire that isn't part of chaos and isn't part of the Imperium. They are just biker dwarves in space, and they want to exist.
That's a show I'd watch.
Yeah.
But it's actually a good point too, bringing it back to Age of Sigmar's done a really interesting stuff with, like you guys mentioned, diversity expression in its models. And I think they just released like a bit set for the Cadian squad that includes a little bit more diversity ability. But like, there are models in Age of Sigmar that are female that are wearing armor that don't have boob cups. And I know I've had a lot of conversations again with my partner and with other people around like, how do you not take advantage of the female form in a way which is highly subjective to like a male point of view? Because there's a great meme. It's like a Space Marine. It goes, hey, this is what a male Space Marine looks like, and then it's the same exact picture and said, this is what a female Space Marine would look like. And it's true. Like in modern militaries, you have the same armor. You have the same body stuff. So anyway, great points all. I know we've been talking to you guys for a very long time, so we got two more that we want to hit. Tom, I'm going to shoot it over to you for our penultimate question.
Oh.
Yeah, so we may as well address the other elephant in the room. GW, with the release of Warhammer Plus, they decided to give paychecks to a bunch of other independent content creators. So
Yeah.
what makes you believe that GW hates you guys?
I think it's
Well,
largely
to start off
because
with,
yeah, exactly. It's because Alfabusa is Swedish. I mean, honestly, I can overlook it. But no, I think Alpha would be more intelligently answering this question. I guess I would just say that I don't think GW hates us, and I'm very happy for anyone that got a paycheck out of this. Honestly, I just think that it's just an optic problem rather than like a actual problem with GW paying people who make fan content that keep their fandom alive.
yeah, I agree. It makes me anxious, to be completely honest. Like, not gonna lie, it does make me a bit anxious. And the illogical part of my brain, especially in the middle of the night, does kind of tell me, like, go check your email, check if Games Workshop has sent a C&D. Specifically because of the release of Warhammer Plus. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I just think it's kind of weird that they like don't use their YouTube channel that, has gathered quite the following after their, foray into actually being online after their last CEO left. But I am genuinely happy for the creators who got the opportunity to work with Games Workshop directly, though. And like for as much shit that I've thrown at GW, I do feel this was like a good faith attempt at garnering even more fan support. But a lot of people do not actually know that Games Workshop of the 2010s and the one that's sent around C&Ds to fan creators and made themselves infamous for being very anti-fan in general, have essentially been replaced by modern Games Workshop, who are not like that. And I think Games Workshop wants to show that it actually supports fan works now by doing them the greatest honor of actually giving them a chance to work for them. Because I feel like a lot of people, including myself, I remember actually saying this on Twitter once, why don't they make Astartes just official? It's so good. But then they went and did it, and now the optics issue has cropped up as a result. Like, I feel like it was a good faith attempt, but that it has kind of failed in many ways. So the issue is here that due to the fact that people do not know that there is a difference between old Games Workshop and new Games Workshop, and I'm generalizing here. I'm sure that a lot of people know the difference. It's just that it's easy to get swept in on the bandwagon when someone is being negative about a company for often justified reasons, but this particular one is just, the company has a history, people learn of its history and assume that the company is still like that. Of course, it's natural, I think. But due to the fact that people do not know this difference, people think this is actually just a cynical attempt at raiding the fandom of creators and getting full creative control, like grabbing all the revenue. So this has just become a lose-lose situation. Like, even if Games Workshop doesn't meddle in the least in the creation process of the future projects, fans are going to project their pre-established bias towards Games Workshop and see everything bad in it anyway, and immediately assume that it was Games Workshop and that a Games Workshop has ruined this project because they will meddling in it. Like, I am sure that even if the new Astartes project that they're working on is amazing and great and grim and ponders deep questions regarding the nature of Space Marines in ways we have not seen in years, I still think that a lot of fans will not be convinced due to the bad taste they already had in their mouth. And Warhammer Plus doesn't help this at all. Now it truly looks like a cynical cash grab. Like, I feel like a subscription service for Warhammer stuff is a few years off. Like, are companies still doing this? I thought they gave up on it like a few years back because they realized that it wasn't very lucrative. I thought, at least. I feel like a lot of subscription services have just closed down because it wasn't like a good move. Or am I wrong? Like, does anyone know?
No, you're not right. I mean, there's a ton popping up now, and I think to mixed successes, and we've seen a lot of them fail. One, by the way, what you're talking about is the official 40 Cray podcast line as well. Both that, hey, let's try to be open-minded because it's not like this is a faceless corporation. It is. There's different people and different business units trying to do the best they can.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But also, like, yeah, we were thrilled when they picked up Astartes and Exodite, because it's kind of like saying, yeah, be part of us. Like, let's do it together. I think what we saw in Alfabusa and Speaker, I'm curious if you guys think this with Warhammer Plus, is it just felt like a missed opportunity to get more mainstream attention.
I mean, they could have just gotten like a deal on Netflix, right? Potentially.
I'm assuming that's pretty easy. They just like email somebody like, oh yeah, throw it up. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I can only assume that, like making a subscription service for 40K stuff. I mean, it is exciting in its own way. I think that it does make sense for some degree. I think it might be a little bit out of touch. It does have a substantial chance, I think, of kind of just like bungling, and I don't know exactly how much stuff they have really.
Yeah. Are they going to release ebooks and audiobooks?
Yeah, like if it was
right.
like a thing like a I don't want to say WWE Network because we talk too much about wrestling, but if it was like a thing where it's like you could get like like audiobooks and shit for Black Library with that same subscription service, that could draw in people certainly, or like codexes with it. Like that would be a really smart
that's
idea.
a great point. That's a great idea.
That'd be
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
I think that the big like fuck up on GW's part with this though is not so much in trying out a subscription service. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing to make it different from other ones just yet. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Is it going to be part of a larger one already? Is it not? I don't know. But what I just think that their fuck up is just like taking like so covetous like a control over those things, because I think that just led to a situation to where this thing that should be really exciting and honestly is, because like the idea of official GW animations, like that's the thing that we were all clamoring for. I remember I watched that old terrible shitty Ultramarines movie a little while ago.
I own it.
I was watching like oatmeal people walk through the desert a few days ago. like people have been wanting, like Warhammer animations. I think it's a fantastic idea. And, while I would love to, GW, write us a check, how it is. Like, I get it. We're like a weird comedy series. We kind of are doing our own thing, whatever. I'm very happy for these creators, but I do think that, honestly, the only fuck up at this stage that I think I can say is just that they shouldn't have been so hard on cracking down on the YouTube channels, because like Mick Gordon makes music for Doom, or he did, whatever. He made music for Doom. But if you go on his YouTube channel, he'll post that music there, or he'll post like how I made it, right? So by taking down like incomplete products, or even like what a creator can put out for themselves, I think that if you want to make it to where it's not released on YouTube, totally, I understand that. I think putting Astartes behind that wall is not a wise idea. And I think that this is salvageable and potentially something that is really cool. They just need to do something to like not make people think that they're like evil, because there are people that will poo-poo. People are very passionately about Warhammer. I'm very passionate about Warhammer. I spent like an hour yelling about Warhammer and about how much I hate it because I love it so much. That's how it gets when you really love something. And so I think that like they have the tools to make this really wonderful. They have the tools to kind of get with the fandom and be like, okay, look, doing it this way, whatever. But I worry that if things continue on its present track, the fans are going to be so kind of like outraged and angry and discontent that this entire potentially incredibly cool, unique project could flounder, are the animations going to all be like fantastic Astartes quality? I don't know. And like, I don't know what expectation we can go into them. Are they going to have like 6 shows or 60 shows? I don't know. We don't know enough about Warhammer Plus to know what it is, but what it could be is exciting. And I just want GW to maybe, I've restated this 600 times, but just GW just needs to do some damage control and let people post like, we're working on this, progress is on YouTube, and I think it'd be fine.
And release codexes on Warhammer Plus.
Yes, and release codexes on Warhammer Plus, and pay us $6 million to make a new Anva web series. Anva's text to speech because he's dead.
What?
Hologram.
Do it. What are you talking about?
Our new Necromundus series. Pay us millions dollars, make new.
Oh yes. No, if people if they for whatever reason asked us to do anything, which I don't think will happen, okay, if they have to remove my YouTube channel, I don't think that's a good idea. I think that'd be bad.
Yeah,
I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'd have to really think about what we do with that, honestly. But I guess it depends specifically what they would want.
Yeah, I think immediately if the channel was removed, but we got an opportunity to do an original series for Warhammer Plus, I think people would hate it. Like no matter what, even if we got full creative control, and we were allowed to do whatever we wanted, even if we were allowed to say the fuck word.
Yeah.
No,
I think
once. I think
I actually just because
what.
I think that if it was clear that we had full creative control, I think we could like sell it to where people would like expect like 40K Rick and Morty, and people would be pissed off. But I think people would. I think more people would be excited at the idea that we would get unmitigated creative control over a canon 40K property. I think that would overshadow some of the disconcertion. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, GW, now that we've complained about you for 2 hours, please give us a job. Thank you.
You don't have to. I'm pretty happy where I am. Please.
GW,
Don't kill me.
Don't kill Alfabusa, GW. Please tell your assassins to put their guns away and go back to Nottingham.
Exactly.
Guys, final question for us today, and again, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans or the community, or the 25 people that listen to this show before we let you go?
Fuck you.
No. Cool. All right. Well, that's me.
No, we love you very much. I love the Warhammer community. I'm very thankful and privileged to kind of be in this place, to be able to be making the Warhammer stuff. I'm glad you guys laugh at my funny ha-has. I'm glad you guys watch Warhams and whatever else, and kind of make, like, because no matter how angry and how nuclear you might be over whatever the latest lore change is, or honestly even how angry and nuclear I can be over the latest like gameplay change or whatever, this hobby, the latest Eldar nerf or whatever happened, I don't know. This hobby is very, it is very unique. It is very, I think, welcoming and unique in that power that it has to be sort of able to kind of craft your own sort of anything within it, even if things are shit. Like, even if like your codex sucks, you play Gene Stealer cults and you're super invested in the sensei. Oh yeah, Gene Stealer cults are low tier, by the way. Yeah, so yeah, like you play like Gene Stealer cults and you're based around like lore that no longer exists or is actively like contradicted or whatever, and your paints are all discontinued old Citadel lines and all this other stuff, or you played Elysium drop troops or whatever. There's still enough there to where I think that 40K is this community that we have is like able to still encapsulate that and able to still create like a really fucking badass positive space. And I don't think there's many other communities like that, so I'm very thankful to be a part of it.
Well, guys, this is the last part of our show, and I didn't prep you for this, but as we run the closing music every time, we just spatter off whatever catchphrases, mottos, or slogans we remember from our youth, or things that make us happy. So we'll begin here, and we'll invite you guys to say whatever comes to mind. Of course, the first one we always say is, "Hey guys, don't forget to mash that like and subscribe button."
Oh, of course, yeah. Don't forget to. Absolutely. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the video, and follow me on Patreon. In addition, be sure to just smack that dislike button. Unfollow me.
Wait.
Add it to your favorites.
Do that to him.
Add it to your favorites.
But
put it away and get it out of your favorites. Show it to your friends. Kill your friends. Bring the bodies in an unmarked car. Drive it off in the desert. Now you need to make sure that you have enough of volatile chemicals to be able to dispose of this. Now, how are you going to cover up the paper trail? Right? Anyone sees you, they're part of the project now. You have to bring them in.
Oh boy.
So how you got to get your network in, hire a cleaner. And once you've done with that, then you can follow my...
That was good. I am terrified now that I'm on an FBI watch list.
Come on, man. I'm a dark Eldar player. You have to expect homicide.
Well, you just go twirl your mustache.
I will.
you guys have any other favorite lines from when you were a kid? I know, Tom, your favorite's always.
Okay.
Of course, there's also "You're going to fabulous Puerto Vallarta, Mexico."
Like
Space camp.
fond of snooping as usual, I see.
This isn't fair.
Oh yeah, no, say crazy Swedish things, bro.
Yeah, say some stuff in sweet. Yeah,
Oh my god.
Oh wait, I'm gonna quote the most horrifying part of any Swedish child's
Oh, boy.
childhood. Okay, here we go. There you go.
Holy shit.
what is that a reference? I gotta know what that's a reference to.
It's a horrible, horrible intro for one of the most beloved children's shows of all in all Swedish history, called Emil i Lönneberga, which is a show about a small child who is kind of a rapscallion. He runs around in Sweden, and this child has a father who screams his name in the intro because he has broken something or whatever, and he screams like that, and it's horrifying. I remember getting legitimately
Scared.
fight or flight reflex in my body and running away and hiding behind a corner. And I am 100% certain that a lot of people share this experience because they have seen the YouTube comments on that particular intro video.
There you go, viewers. Now you know exactly what Alphabus is most afraid of. So when you're commenting on their awesome work, whether it's Warhammer's, the Emperor's podcast, text to speech, or any of the other stuff, you can just read. What is it? What does he say without it screaming? Eyeball?
Oh no, Emil.
Emil.
Just the name of the child.
Emil.
Emil.
Name. Just yelled names of children at him.
Yes. Yeah. That will set the fear of God in my bones and have me cower and release.
So that's what Games Workshop should do if they're trying to close you down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They should
Out
just
children's
send
names.
you in a threatening email.
All right.